Hi folks, thanks for tuning in. I'm just making this video because something I've seen blown up on the forums and on Reddit. No one's really addressed it yet, so I thought I'd cover it. The community need to be aware of it because they could fall foul of it. Also, D should really address it because this could affect their revenue and their standing with the community, which I know is something. If anyone's seen the latest documentary, I suggest check that out. It's by NoClip's really good. But we know that they pride themselves on sort of how they interact with their community. So this needs to be addressed. The basic story here, and I'll leave a link to the thread in the description, is that player can no longer access their account because they have a negative plat balance. Now the reason they have this is because D discovered that some of the plat on their account came from a third-party website originally. So D removed the plat. Now, unfortunately, the person had already, like, they removed, say, 4,500 platinum, I think it was. Unfortunately, the person had already spent the platinum, so that made their account negative, sort of balance with plat. Now, fair enough, you might say, you shouldn't be buying plat from third-party websites, but this is where it gets interesting. The account that's they can't access until, because it's not totally banned. They are allowed back into their account once they pay the outstanding balance. But the account that has been sort of frozen in this manner isn't the one that bought the plat. They obtained this platinum through what, by all accounts, looks to be a legitimate trade. So the person basically sold a Riven for quite a lot of platinum, went out, bought their friends, but this is anecdotal evidence from the thread, but the friends are there saying, yeah, this is the kind of person they are, they buy, new players, slots, they have a look through people's wish lists and, treat their friends. So this plat had gone, and now they can't get into their account until they pay 4,500 plat. I don't know what that is dollar-wise, but it's quite a lot. So, yeah, they're kind of in a predicament now. So obviously they did what most of us would do and contacted support, and support sent them this message. As you can see, that's not particularly helpful. So, there's a few things I should say here. Other than the message from support and the original thread, we've only got those things to go on. D have not commented on this yet, although D are aware of the situation. Well, I've seen a message from another YouTuber to Rebecca. She's aware of it. I think she's away at the moment, maybe. Also, the thing to bear in mind is that game companies, for obvious reasons, are very tight-lipped about the way they combat fraud. So there's that. Having said all of that, there's a couple of possibilities of what could have happened there. The person, this is the first possibility, the person is innocent as stated and unwittingly, done this trade, completely good faith, and now can't get into their account, and they're as much as victim of the fraud as DE were. The second option, the person was complicit in this and either knows the person who owns the account that bought the platinum, or owns the account themselves, and it's a duplicate, basically a dupe account to buy plat and transfer it to the main account. Now the problem, if we assume that the person is innocent, which I'm inclined to do, the problem here, and I'll explain why I'm inclined to believe the person later, but the problem here is, even if that is the case and they are totally innocent in this, it's catch-22 for DE. Because if they give the person their account back and say, right, okay, we'll just credit your account so it's back at 0 platinum and you can access it. If they do that, fraudsters will then have a massive loophole where they can just have their main accounts, have an MR rank 0 account on a VPN or something, where they buy platinum and then trade it to their main account and deny all knowledge, and that exposes DE to these fraudsters, and DE need money. They can't afford to leave these loopholes open. It's a free game. They need this money to keep the lights on and to keep these quality updates and everything coming, to pay people's bloody mortgages off who work there, So they could not do that. They could say, no, you've got to pay the platinum back or you can't get on your account. If they do that though, they're potentially, you know, holding an innocent player's account to ransomware. And I should say at this point, this player is a founder. This player is one of the people responsible for getting D to where they're at now. You know, and I've supported the game and I've spent probably thousands, I should imagine, over the 5 years. So they stand to, one, lose a customer that probably has and probably would continue to spend a lot of money on the game. Two, probably lose that person's friends. For all accounts, is a very popular person. Three, lose a lot of standing with the community. And four, and this is probably the most serious for DE, erode confidence in, you know, their trading system and trading for plat stuff, which is a big earner for DE. The plat, like people buying platinum to buy, say, a ribbon off someone else, is one of the big drivers for people to buy platinum and stuff. So, yeah, a bit of a catch-22 for DE. But I think whatever they do with this situation, they've got to be transparent. A lot of game companies, when it comes to things like this, especially when it's, you know, involving other people's accounts, say no, it's private, blah blah blah, and nobody knows the outcome. Now this has got so big on the forums, and a lot of the community talk about it. It's also on Reddit, it's on a few other places. This is so big. Do you need to use some of their famous, you know, transparency and interact with the community and all of that stuff that they're proud of, rightly so. They need to exercise that here as best they can. Obviously, they can't go too into detail about what they know and what they don't know and how they know these things, but they need to be as transparent as they can. They also need to prevent it happening in the future. Now we can talk. You guys can come up with some ideas in the comments about, you know, how this sort of thing could be prevented in the future. I have a few ideas, but I don't really want to talk about it here. What I want to talk about is how you could prevent this happening to yourself if you're big into ribbon trading and stuff like this. And my advice would be, one, first of all, check before you do a large platinum trade, check the profile of the person you're trading with. If they're MR0 and their username looks like a binary number and they've got like no time played, I wouldn't do the trade. The other thing is, after doing such a large trade, my advice would be to not immediately spend all the platinum. Leave it on your account for about a week. That way, if there is any problems, you can just take it off your account, give you a ribbon or whatever back. If your account doesn't go into negative plat, you're happy. You can access your account. If you think about it, you can sell it again, hopefully with better luck. That's pretty much what I want to say. But let me know what you think in the comment section. Are DE doing the right thing? Should this person get their account back? Should they have to pay? I mean, like I said, I think the person is innocent, and the reason I think this is because it is a founder's account. You know, it's got Excal Prime, all this founder's gear. You know, I don't think someone would be silly enough. I mean, it is the internet, people are silly, but I don't think someone would be silly enough to risk all of that for like 4,500 platinum. I don't think that's the case. But let me know what you think. Anyway, thanks for tuning in, guys, and I hope to see you next time.